Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first episode of the podcast. We have no title as of right now, and it's just going to be me. But normally, once this quarantine's all over, we're going to have a guest. Well, a partner. I'm going to have a partner. He's been my best friend for 10 years, and I've known him for a really long time. Well, duh, right? I said 10 years, so that's obviously a long time. But today, we're going to have a guest via call on Steam. I did have a guest originally, but I think they fell asleep, which is fine, you know. We're all human. We all sleep sometimes. No sponsors today. Normally, we don't have any sponsors, and I don't think we will for a while because I'm not really that popular, honestly. I'm trying. I do have chocolate de abuelita right now drinking, so maybe, shout out to her. Good drink. Anyways, no logo either. No name. I'm thinking real podcast hours, but literally there's no logo. So when you're watching this or listening to it, maybe there's going to be a JPEG or maybe an image on there. I don't know if it's going to be a logo. I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's going to be something up there. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the quarantine, and I have a really good friend of mine on the call right now. I've known him for about 7 years. 7 years, right? Right, Phil? 7 years, around there?
Yes.
Anyways, this is Phil. I've met him through Steam. It's like, back then it was kind of weird for people. That was like the era where people would be like meeting online, but it'd be kind of questionable because like, how close could you get to someone that you know online? And nowadays it's kind of like normal. I guess it's gotten really normal, right? Back then it was kind of like iffy, but nowadays it's like people do it all the time. They meet online. I mean, Twitch. You could meet people on Twitch via, their streaming services, or you could meet people on Tinder, and that's how the hookup culture. There we go. That's what it's called. But I'm not saying you and I are hooking up. I'm just saying like, you meet people via internet. So, back then it was kind of like questionable. How old was I back then? I was like, by the way, this podcast, it doesn't really have any rules. I mean, I try avoiding slurs and controversial topics. We're all having fun and games here, We're going to talk about topics that are happening in the world right now, but you could swear all you fucking want. I really don't care. I mean, I'm honestly not trying to gain any money off of this. This is mostly just per hobby purposes. In all honesty, I'm doing this for fun. I'm not really looking for money. Well, right now, right now. You hear that, YouTube? Right now. I'm not looking for money right now, but if you want to, give me a little money, my PayPal's at veterancat@gmail.com.
I don't think you're making any money on YouTube.
Right yeah, now. I know. But there is a thing called PayPal. I like donations, guys. Donations. Anyway, hookup culture. I'm not saying you and I are hooking up, but I mean, if you're down, I'm kind of single right now. So anyway, back in the day,
I've been single. I've been single for about like 10 years now. So
damn, dude. For me, how long ago was 2017? That was what?
3 years ago.
Dude, I suck at math. 3 years ago. Okay, I've been single for 3 years. Technically. Side pieces are a thing nowadays. Having a thing without having a relationship is a thing nowadays. So I've had those. They're really nice. I really love them.
Tinder.
Oh, yeah, Tinder. But mine was mostly like, what was it? Was it Twitter, Instagram, Facebook? I forget which one of the three it was, but that was pretty nice. It's pretty nice, honestly. I don't mind it. It's a good way to know people, But anyways, yeah, I've known you for 7 years. We met through Steam playing Team Fortress 2, which is a really good game. Y'all should try it. It's free to play. You need a really good PC, though, because I had a really busted up laptop, and I don't know if you remember correctly, but I'd be lagging like fucking crazy. Like, I'd be in one... Dude, you were fine. Legit. You were like a god in that game, bro. Like, legit. You had...
that was 2013, though. Like, when I first started off, I was awful.
I don't remember, honestly.
Like, I had a laptop. Barely run TF at the time.
I don't...
And then one of the bigger updated hits stuttered awfully.
Dude, like, legit. It's been so long, I hardly remember. I legit only remember where we were playing a game and I was doing so bad that when I killed one of your friends in the game, he was like so amazed, throwing me like a party. on the inside, it was like, ouch, like, am I that bad? But on the outside, I was like, that's awesome. Which is another person that I think I met you through him, right? I met you through Alex. I remember correctly, or am I wrong? I can't.
Yeah, Christian, yes.
Christian, dude, I swear to God, my memory is horrible.
I,
Christian, there we go. His
I'm pretty
nickname was
sure, I think I
Alex.
remember the map we played on.
Yeah, there
It
we
was
go.
Dust Bowl.
Was it Dust Bowl? I thought it was Orange X3. If I remember, no.
It might have been an orange also. It was one of those.
Yeah, but I really don't remember. My memory is super horrible. Team Fortress 2 was a blessing, honestly, a blessing in disguise. If it weren't for the game, I wouldn't have met so many amazing people. I legit have friends from Canada. I have friends from Venezuela. I have friends from Texas, even though that's like in the same country.
That would be Steam for me.
Steam, dude. Steam is a pretty good place. I would get.
Like, I met Jay through Steam. I don't know. I've known him at least 9 years now, just because of Left 4 Dead.
That is so awesome. Almost 10 years. That's crazy, bro. A decade. You spent a whole decade with this dude. That is amazing.
Oh yeah.
That is amazing.
Oh no, I have another friend in real life. I've known him since 6th grade.
6th grade? That is crazy.
1st grade.
Oh, 1st grade. Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, like 2000-ish.
Damn. If it's not rude asking, how old are you actually?
I just turned 27.
That is awesome, bro. I myself am turning 22 in November. November 9 for you guys listening.
Oh my God, you're that young? I thought you were older.
My voice gave it away, right? My voice made you think I was older, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember one time I was using mic for the first time on a game. And there was these two guys. I had no idea they were homosexuals. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, honestly. But, I was talking, and then they were like, oh, can you, like, talk again? That was, like, pretty cool. And I started talking, and I didn't realize what they were doing. So they added me, and they hit me up. Are you gay by any chance? Like, your voice is pretty hot. And I'm like, whoa. That's more than I bargained for when I'm like on Steam. I'm only here to play the game, I always found it funny. I'd try avoiding using mic because of stuff like that. Legit, there was a one time where I was using a mic and I guess someone developed an online crush for me and would not stop stalking me for a whole 2 years. He eventually confessed and said that he was like into me. And I'm like, that's cool, bro. Like, that's awesome. But, at the time I wasn't really looking for relationships and all that. And I kind of did have one already, but it was with the girl in Texas. That was a whole spiel. Well, she moved to Texas, is what I'm trying to say. I'm from Illinois myself. So, Steam is a funny place. TF2 is a funny place. The community is really colorful. Like, you get memes left and right. You get videos. People always making SFMs and Gmod videos. It's amazing. The community is really keeping itself alive. Where the developers...
Really, the community is.
The community is,
Valve
right?
kind of dropped TF2.
Sadly, bro. What are they focusing on? Hearthstone? What was it? They're fucking... card game?
There's Dota 2 stuff.
Alright, Dota 2. I forgot about Dota 2.
Go, something go.
Counter-Strike, right? CSGO?
Yeah. I think the last big update was in 2018.
For TF2? Really?
I think so. It was Jungle Inferno.
Ah, bro, you're right. 2017. I remember now. I only yeah, bro. Like, legit. I remember because I was watching a video on it after the sad passing of Rick May, and I was trying to locate videos where he had voiced Soldier.
Oh,
Rest in peace, Rick May, though. He was a legend. He still is a legend.
That's really sad to hear.
Yeah, dude. TF2 thankfully did do an update where they added statues of him throughout servers and maps, which is really touching, honestly. It's just so sad, bro. Corona is getting the best of people, man. Anyway, so I was like, looking for videos, of him, and then I saw a Jungle Inferno update, and I looked at the video, and I'm like, no one other than Nathan Federline is in the video. Well, except the voice of Saxton. But Nathan is legit the only one in the video, and no one else is talking. They're just using, like, voice clips from the past. And then I'm like, what year did this come out? And then I look at it, and it's 2017. And I'm like, what? That's a long ass time ago, dude. And it's like, I've been away from Steam for such a long time. And it's because I've been busy. Because I had work, I used to work as like a cashier, third shift, and all that. Shit was crazy. Legally, I can't say where I work at, which is pretty funny. Well, at least the lawyer told me I can't. So I've been busy, so I've been away from the game for a long time. Honestly, I haven't played video games in the longest. I legit only stick to like mobile games. But TF2 was like always a game I've always wanted to go back to, and I did last year. And Jungle Inferno was a thing, and like, I'm like, what is all this? Like, not that Jungle
It's
Inferno
insane.
came out last year, but like, I remember seeing you in a server. I somehow bumped into you, and
I remember that.
I recognize that fucking name, and I'm like, but he's pimped out. Like that can't be him. And then I message you, and I'm like, yo, I think we're in the same server. And then you're like, yeah, I think I just bumped into you. And then like we started talking again, and we caught up a little. And turns out, even though we've known each other for 7 years, 5 years later, we barely found out that we're both. Is it 5 years? 5 years later, we both find out we're both into like Dragon Ball. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
I'm super into Dragon Ball.
When did it start? When did Dragon Ball start being your thing?
Oh man. So around the time I was about, I want to say 8 or 9 on TV, I saw Pokemon for the first time.
Damn, that's like
So
what?
I'm like, oh, I love this. I was so into Pokemon. And then I go to my neighbor's house like, down the street, and he's playing this game. It's Dragon Ball Budokai, I think 1 or 2 for the PlayStation.
For the PlayStation. Dude, I,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
it
I
was. It
think
was
I
one of the, it
encountered it
was,
the same way. Cause
it was one of the early games, and
keep going.
oh man, it was. I remember because my friend from first game later on in the Budokai series, masterpiece. Because you
I
can
love the
have the
games.
character. Oh yeah, you can have the character, and then you can like add the capsules to him. Super Saiyan. You can have Goku go Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 4. So like, I remember seeing that for the first time, or watching him play through the game. I'm like, eh. And later on, like, I actually kind of like it. So after a while, there was no big bookstore around here, so I had to rent the manga volumes from the library,
Right.
and I read them auto order, so I had no idea what came first. For the longest time, I thought Z became before Dragon Ball.
Oh, dude, me too. I thought Z was like the first one, but then I'm like, why would they call it Dragon Ball Z if it's like the first one in the series? Doesn't Z sort of sound like there's something before it? And until I
Oh yeah,
came to realize it was Dragon Ball, and I'm like, what is this? Like, it looks familiar, but I'm like, where's the fucking fighting, bro? And it's like more of like a heartfelt story of like them searching for the actual Dragon Balls. Whereas Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Balls are more like a secondary plot and all that.
oh no, I'll tell you right now. Kurosayama, when he first made Dragon Ball, it was an adventure story.
Dragon Boy, nah? Or something like
It,
that.
it, it huh?
Wasn't it called like Dragon Boy or something? I forgot.
No, it was Dragon Ball.
Drag-
It was called Dragon Ball, but it was a adventure story of the main character going through everything to get the Dragon Ball.
Is it true that the main character, Son Goku, is loosely based off of the legendary folktale Son Wukong?
Of course,
Pretty obvious, right? Dead giveaway. The whole pole, the whole tail. And I love that story.
Flying Nimbus,
Flying
Long, everything.
Nimbus.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole long hair. Dude, I love that story. Monkey Journey to the West. Really good story. I love it. I remember I was reading that, and then I'm like, looking at the character, and I'm like, my weeb ass was like, that looks like something Goku would do, you know? And little did I know, like, once I actually got more into the anime and manga, I was like, wow, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Um, I got into it because of my cousin, honestly. I forgot what age I was. I think I was 6 or 4. And when I was a kid, I was a scaredy cat. I'll be honest with you. My friend knows this very well. How's it going? Anyway, my friend knows this very well. I've told her so many times of things I was scared of as a kid. I love this girl to death. I tell her everything. And I trust her so much that I've told her these things, even though I look weird. But, you know the Chicago Bulls?
Yes, the basketball team, right?
Mm-hmm. By the way, guys, watch The Last Dance. It's a really good, series on Netflix. Anyway, um, as a kid, I had a phobia of the Bulls logo. If I was remotely near the Bulls logo, my body would go stiff and I'd start shaking. I would not look at it. I'd be so scared. It's like if you were to walk into a lion cage and the lion's sleeping, obviously you're gonna tiptoe all scared, your body would be cold, you'd be scared to death. That was me. But instead of that sleeping lion, it's just the Bulls logo. Just a drawing, bro. That was me with the Bulls logo. How? I don't know. Why am I scared of that? I have no idea, honestly. But I was. It was she was just like, "You're crazy." Like who even like she like there was no words to express how like taken back she was by that. I also had a phobia of Chuck E. Cheese, the Chuck E. Cheese mascot. I remember whenever we go to Chuck E. Cheese every year, because that's where we used to go when we would celebrate birthdays in the family. I would always avoid him, and it's the Chuck E. Cheese dude. Chuck E. Cheese is
I mean,
literally in the fucking
I
name.
mean,
Legit.
he's terrifying.
Dude, the old design, the square head, that's
Oh yeah,
scary. That
definitely terrifying.
nightmare fuel, bro. Nightmare fuel. But the mascot would come out after a certain amount of time, and I'd be hiding under tables, behind arcade machines. I'd be running away. And I remember one time my dad was dragging me to the Chuck E. Cheese mascot because he wanted me to take a picture with him because it was my birthday. And I was like, no, 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 no. So I went to the bathroom and I hid, Guess who takes a fucking
There
bathroom
you go.
break? The fucking
That's
Chuck E.
fantastic.
Cheese mascot, bro. I was petrified, bro. He was all waving at me and I started crying. He tried comforting me and I run away. He's all confused. And I was just like, that's funny. I remember that. It was like yesterday, but in reality, I was like 8 years old. Not until I was 12, I started realizing, why am I scared of a mouse? It's literally a dude inside, you know? Because I had to develop at a really fast age. But I was still a scaredy cat. But my point is, I was a scaredy cat as a kid. So I remember walking into my cousin's room and he was watching Toonami. It had been the Saiyan saga where Goku and Vegeta have their really famous beam clash. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
that's amazing. That looks awesome. The episode ends, and I'm like, what was that? And he's like, oh, it's Dragon Ball Z. You wanna see something else? So he pops in his game. Forgot what game it was. It was either Budokai or it's Budokai Tenkaichi 2. I forget which one. But the cutscenes were so rough. The models were so ugly. I was scared. I remember it was like Goku or Vegeta screaming at someone, or it was the Raditz scene. I forget. But there was a lot of screaming, and I mean, come on, Dragon Ball, it's synonymous with screaming.
It
So
really is.
yeah, you can't have Dragon Ball without screaming. There's at least one scream in every episode. Don't count me on that because maybe I'll be wrong. I already hear all the people typing and everything. Anyway, if they watch this, obviously. But I heard the screaming and I look at the models and I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Like I ain't watching this. I got scared. Not until like, cause I could watch the show. That was fine. But the game, I could not play the game. I was scared. I was scared. I would have nightmares where either Goku or Vegeta would appear in my bedroom and start yelling at me, trying to attack me, and I'm just like, no, please, leave me alone, no. Yeah, it was something else. But yeah, Dragon Ball Z, it's a really, really amazing anime. Sure, not many people like it, but they have to admit it's like one of the, one of the best ones out there.
It was a stepping. That's one thing. It's a stepping stone for a lot of the big ones that came out, like in
Yeah,
the early 2000s.
that one and Sailor
One
Moon.
Piece, Bleach, Naruto, all the big ones, all the creators, like they thank Akira and all that, and they also say thanks to Akira Toriyama for Dragon Ball.
No, yeah, that is so true. If I'm not saying if it weren't for Dragon Ball, there wouldn't be other animes, because that's kind of
Oh
vague.
yeah, I mean I'm pretty sure there would be. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that Dragon Ball was so iconic that even still now you have popular anime and manga series that only had nothing to do with like fighting or anything. They would still reference Dragon Ball.
Right, rappers.
Even American cartoons reference Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah, the one I remember mostly was Kid Next Door, with the whole transformation thing or things. Teen Titans Go. Sorry, I have a lisp. And Teen Titans Go. I remember them referencing it not too long ago. Like it's
Uh,
mm,
yeah. So did Gumball too.
who?
Amazing World of Gumball.
Oh, you're right. I remember that one.
I'm pretty sure they even say Super Saiyan in the episode.
Yeah, I think so. Right? They even use the eyes and everything. Pretty good
Yeah,
show.
that's
I
right.
I love Amazing World of Gumball. That show was really good. Even though Cartoon Network was kind of bad at that time, Amazing World of Gumball,
I
regular
remember.
show.
I used to not like Amazing World of Gumball.
Oh, really?
And, oh yeah, I remember. I didn't like any cartoon at the time. I was like 20. I was like 20, maybe like 23, 22. And I was just like, none of these cartoons are good. And then I watched a few episodes of Gumball. I'm like, I like it.
You weren't much of
It's a
a.
really good show.
It's a really good show.
Especially like later on in the series too, like in the later seasons, they make fun of like Tumblr drawings
Oh yeah, they'd be so
and
self.
shipping characters.
Dude, they'd be so
They
self-aware
even
with that show.
oh dude, there was one episode where they reference how like they might be in the small percentage of kids that never age, and they hope that's where they are. So like they sing a song about it, and toward the end of the episode, their voice are you can hear them getting older, and then finally like it's you hear it, and then you hear like their voice goes high pitched again,
Right.
and they go, "Yeah, we'll never get old," and like they look sad because they just realize that they're never gonna grow old. It's great.
It is a great show. I mean, I realize that nowadays shows that are like that are self-aware, that know how to joke around, they really blossom into like good mainstream shows and all that. Like their comedy is just so it was just so ahead of its time, you know? And people really digged it. It was that one, and one show that I'm really sad isn't still around is Sonic Boom. As horrible as the character designs look,
It's wait. It's gone.
it's been gone since like 2018, I think. Last
Are you
episode.
kidding me?
Dude, they did not
No,
renew
there's no
it.
way.
They did not renew it. Sega did not
Oh,
care.
I love Sonic Boom, man. It was so the game's made me awful, but the show and the writers they knew.
They knew what they were doing, honestly. What came first, the game or the show?
I'm pretty sure I want to say the game came first, and then the show came out.
I don't remember, honestly, like legit. This was a year in my time
Um, um,
where I was, because 2014, 2015, all the way till 17, I was like legit no internet whatsoever. I was like, either I was doing something at home I was at work or I was focusing on school. I did not have any internet. I did have like, I could text people, but I had a BlackBerry. So how are you gonna like look at the internet or watch videos on a BlackBerry, you know? It's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Okay.
I know you could access like Facebook on a BlackBerry.
All
But
right.
hmm.
I think the show and the game came at the same time.
Oh, really?
'Cause it says yeah, November 2014. So
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh, that makes me really sad.
That it's over, right? It was such a good show.
It
Like,
was so great. Like they, one of my favorite jokes of the show was when I forget what the context was, but like I think Knuckles said, "Don't you hate it when a franchise ruins their characters by trying to reboot them?"
dude,
It shows all the characters, Tails coughs. That's the entire scene.
dude, they were so
Absolutely
self-aware.
great.
The writers knew what they were doing. I remember they were also referencing their game series with Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. They're all like,
Yeah, with the tomato thing or whatever.
yeah, the game. They're all like, I like the first game, but the second game knows where it's at. Like, I really like what they did. The character design though, it's different. Like, really, he doesn't even have the same color arms anymore. And they're like, right? I was like, they're so funny. They're so good at this, dude. They even referenced
Yeah, I know.
yeah, or like the Sonic shipping community where they would ship two characters and all
Son-
that.
yeah, Sonic Amy.
Yeah, Son Amy.
Yeah,
I
I love
forgot
that
who
shit. That's
else.
so great.
It's so funny, and they literally mock their fan base, making them look like a
Oh my!
geek.
Another good one. Another good one is when Shadow appears, and everyone's like, It's Shadow the Hedgehog. The entire fan base loves him."
Really, dude, I did not watch that episode, cause
Oh,
I
it's such a good scene. Because Shadow, like he hasn't changed at all. He's still the same. And somebody asks, "Who's that?" And you know who that is?
it's Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh yeah, Eggman,
Because you got
dude,
Sonic
Eggman's
and
amazing,
Eggman. It's like everyone's just like, "Listen, I'm a bad guy. Doesn't mean I'm a bad guy."
dude. Like the whole show, it's
I'm
so
really sad that show. I'm really sad that show gone.
like it's upsetting, bro. Like legit, they're marketing horrible shows, replacing really amazing shows with horrible ones. I mean, I'm not saying that the ones they have nowadays are horrible. Maybe I'm just, being really biased. Or as some people would say, based. I'm being biased. The shows I grew up with were amazing. The shows I've watched were amazing. And now they're being replaced with shows I don't even know. Maybe I should give them a try. Maybe I'm just being really biased and just hating on them because they replaced Sonic Boom, you know. Um, it's so sad. It was a really good show, and I'm a Sonic fan. I've been a Sonic fan since I was a kid. I grew up playing the Genesis. I remember when I would go to the hospital, because I have this condition, and like as a kid, I'd been to the hospital a lot. I got my hands on a Sega Genesis, and I was playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And I'm like, this is so cool. This is so fun. I never played Mario until I got my first Nintendo 64. And I was like, is there any Sonic games for the Nintendo 64? And I had not realized that Sega and Nintendo were kind of at war. Because I thought, my, how would we call it, innocent self thought, video games were just video games and there wasn't really any wars or any
Oh
disputes and
yeah,
all.
oh yeah.
I just thought, like Nintendo 64, you could play whatever is out there on there. Never that I think
That
that,
makes me
hmm,
that makes me wonder though, because I remember they Super Nintendo, and then I remember I used to play the Sega Genesis in my grandmother's room. I had, she had Doom,
Doom's a good
Sonic
series.
2, and Sonic 3. No, she's Sonic 3, and she had Power Rangers fighting game.
Mighty
Then I
Morphin
remember,
Power Rangers for the Sega Genesis, I'm guessing.
oh yeah, I was so
Dude,
awful at that game.
I love that game. I would always play it as a kid. My cousin would always. I swear, my cousin. If it weren't for my cousin, I would not be into the things I am into today. Homeboy literally introduced me to everything I'm into. He was a role model for me, so whatever he was into, I kind of based my personality off of him. And I'm not saying that I'm who I am right now because of him. I'm just saying, like, interest wise, he got me into Dragon Ball. He got me into Power Rangers. He got me into Sonic the Hedgehog, Spider Man. He got me into reading comics. He got me into basketball. If it were my cousin, I wouldn't really be into like the culture that I'm into today, if that makes any sense. I would always play that Power Ranger as a kid. Um, it was really fun, but I was so ass at it. I didn't realize I was ass at it until like recently. I bought a Sega Genesis Model 3 and I bought the game. And I'm like, "Ah, I was so good at this back then. Haha, I'm gonna whoop your ass." And I was talking to my brother because him and I were facing. He kicked my ass so fast. And I was like,
Oh
this
yeah.
this game is nothing like Street Fighter, because I myself am a Street Fighter fan. Like if there's a fighting game I'm good at, it's Street Fighter. Dragon Ball Fighters, I'm okay until I got my ass whooped by a friend, and I'm like, I do not know inputs that well. I do not know framing. I don't know inputs. I just said inputs twice. First podcast, of course I'm gonna mess up, right? But Street Fighter is my game. But the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, that is so hard, dude. It's like left, right, down, triangle. Well, not triangle. I think in Genesis it's like A, B, C and all that. So it'd be like up, down, left, C for one move. And I'm
Well,
like,
yeah.
it's so bad. The game is good, but I'm so
Oh
bad at
man,
it.
my game, like my fighting games, are the exact opposite.
Oh, yeah?
Anime games I'm good at. Fighters. What else is there? Fighters.
The My Hero game, you touched that one?
Which game?
I think I forgot what it's called. It's like the My Hero
It's My Hero,
Academia
right?
game. Yeah, it's like, what was it?
I mean, I play them. I usually don't want to play online because. Did you play Xenoverse 1?
I played Xenoverse 1 and 2, but I've never tried them
Okay.
online.
Ooh, man. Let me. Ooh, yeah. Let me rant real quick.
Alright, go ahead, bro.
So, I started playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1. Thought I was kind of okay at the game. And then, well, the reason why is because whenever you win Super Saiyan in the game, you have infinite key. It never goes down. So basically, all you have to do is Super Saiyan and just
Spam.
keep using attacks.
Just spamming attacks, huh? Bet it's a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah. And then you have online, which
Oh, hell
adds
no.
lag to that.
Ooh.
So that I remember one time, me and another friend were playing, and we both had Super Saiyan, so I was like, easy win. We kept using Death Ball on the NPC,
Mm-hmm.
and combos work is that if you go over a certain amount of combo, like if you go over 100 combo, it just goes Z.
Wow. I
So
myself...
me and him got a
Mhm.
Z hit combo.
So I bet it's really, really horrible to face people online, because they take advantage of that system, huh?
Well, Xenoverse 2 is a little bit different because online key goes down, and whenever you use key based attacks, it will go down. But you also have think about that. You have stamina breaks, and you're useless. But then with fighters, oh man, I love playing fighters.
Dude, Fighters is amazing. Me and this one girl would always play Fighters, and I'm like, I thought I was good at Fighters until I faced this girl, and she's all like, "I'm sorry if I suck. Oh my god, like she barely picked it up, right?" And she's like, "I'm sorry if I suck." She kicks my fucking ass, and I'm just like, on the inside, I'm kind of crushed because I'm like, wow, she's genuinely good. She's doing combos, she's doing OTGs, she's doing like, it's like so amazing. She's so amazing at it. I'm like taken back. I'm like, wow, what a woman. High key had a huge crush on her. So I'm like, a woman that could play fighting games? Are you kidding me? One in a million. So she kicked my ass. And I was all amazed, you know. I'm like, wow, I have a lot to learn. You're amazing. You're like, is it in your genetics to play fighting games? And I kind of proved that statement because I got to face her family, her sisters, I believe. And they kicked my ass too. They never played the game at all. And they whooped me, bro.
That's great.
I was like, that's amazing. Keep it up. You guys, they got so happy. The sisters got so happy when I told them they're amazing. I'm just like, you guys are amazing. I wasn't even holding back, dude. That's the thing. They thought I was, but I'm like, no, I wasn't. Why do I suck so much? But it's all in fun, honestly. Her and I would
Oh yeah, this
always,
thing like friend group that I was in.
right.
I was like the best with the fighting anime games. Like Fighters, I probably was the best. Think about it though, I sucked online
Oh,
because
oh.
you have people just lock in a corner and do the zero death combos. I'm just like, I like the flashy lights.
Dude, I love the flashy combos. Like, I only know how to do combos with Vegito Blue, Goku Rose, and Legendary Broly. I can't with the other ones. Oh, and Super Broly, too.
I uh
But
I
that's about it.
I love Super Broly. I love his walk,
Yes,
his
yes.
medium. I love his medium.
His down medium, dude. That is amazing.
Like whenever I use that, I'm like, I'm going for a walk.
Just
I just do
stomping the
that.
floor. Dude, I do that combo strain. I do about like four of those because I think the maximum is four, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's four.
And then I do low heavy, I think, to get them into the air, and then I just do like, I don't know what I even do, honestly. I just like, okay, if Vegeta works this way, I'm gonna try doing Broly this way. And honestly, it kind of worked. And I was amazed. But I'm like, Super Broly is amazing. You guys did good. I know recently Kefla came out a month ago, and right now we got Ultra Instinct Goku.
I saw a little bit about Ultra Instinct Goku, and he looks fucking insane.
He looks overpowered as fuck. I am just too scared to go online now. I'm like,
I
I don't want to get my ass kicked.
I watch a guy who uploads like lobby shenanigans about fighters.
Lithero, right?
Yes,
Dude,
I watch his
Lithero is a god. Lithero is a
I
god, dude.
watched Three Idiots versus Ultra Instinct Goku, and it's terrifying.
Honestly,
Like
honestly, Lithero is what got me into the fighting game community. Him and
I think
Maximilian.
if there's they would have to like have it where Ultra Instinct Goku cannot be tournament legal.
That's what I'm thinking, because we got Evo coming up, and I know Fighters is in the lineup. But I know for a
And
fact Evo isn't
just
allowing
insane.
DLC 3. They're not allowing DLC 3 from what I remember. Kefla is banned and Ultra Instinct is banned because they haven't touched the waters yet, you know? They haven't tested waters.
Dude, I looking at another good streamer slash YouTuber I watch. Rap R, I think his name is.
Never heard of him, honestly. I'll look into him.
Oh, dude, he's an insane hit player. I love his videos.
Hit is crazy, bro. I've tried Hit before.
Like,
I've kicked major ass
oh,
online with Hit.
that's the reason why I play hit, because I love, I think it's Rap TR, maybe? Yeah, I love his, he streamed tonight.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, I love his content. Like, he's really good at, take, like, Thero's videos,
Mm-hmm.
and that's for hit.
Awesome, dude. Hit is a really good character. He has a lot of, like, I think recently he got buffed too. His level 1 could
Oh,
expand
I
into
love his gun.
the gun. There we go. Like, dude, that comes so clutch. It's amazing. Ginyu got buffed right now too. He has a new level 3. I'm like, that is so amazing. They should do that
Yeah,
with
I am,
the season 1 characters, honestly.
his like level 1 punch. Like, you know how he can charge it up if he has more ki?
Right.
I just call it the gun.
Mm-hmm. The community knows it as the gun, the hit gun. It's
Like,
really
so it
amazing.
does like 7,000 damage.
7,000? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I
That is.
because I remember I watched the video whenever it released about the hit buff, and I was like, I gotta see what this is like. I went to fighters, I went to training. full 7 bar, 7,000.
That is amazing. So it's 1,000 per bar, I'm guessing then, by the math. I suck at math, but
Well, another thing about that is that
it's half
whenever you
bars
go
now.
online and fight,
Right.
every character has a 10,000 hit points.
Oh. So that's the only remaining would be 3,000, huh?
Basically.
That's crazy. That's like, wow, okay. So you could legit do a combo string and finish that combo string with the level 7 bar hit gun, and then you're done. That's one opponent down. And
Or
you
just do what I do, just use it raw.
That's crazy. Do people actually fall for it?
I must be against friends.
By the
I just
way,
go, here comes the garden, and just like do it. And they usually block it, so I'm like,
dude, I love playing fighting games with friends. By the way, for those listening, raw means out of nowhere. Because usually in fighting games, you kind of have to do a combo. You kind of have to get them a little stunned, and then you do your super. But sometimes, especially in fighters, which is where the term is really popular, raw level 3s, raw supers, it's where you do it just out of nowhere. And people sometimes fall for that shit. And they're always like, what the fuck? I know one time I was getting my ass kicked, but I kind of was neck and neck with this dude, and he was like setting up a combo. I had one frame of freedom, and I just hit a raw level 3. Forgot what character I was. I think I was Super Vegeta. And Homeboy died in that game. Not in real life. He didn't die or anything. But I did get messaged by him, all pissed off. He's all like, okay, who's a stupid idiot, huh? Who's a who's a fucker? Like he said other things that I really can't say. But he was mad. And I'm like, that is so funny. That's awesome. I love Dragon Ball Fighters, dude. Like it's so amazing. But the fighting game community is amazing. But like back to what you were saying, playing with friends. It's so fun. I would always I'd play with my boy, the dude that's gonna be my partner in this podcast eventually once the whole quarantine's over, which is horrible. I hate the quarantine, but I feel like it's necessary because I'd rather not catch corona. And I mean, who would? Who would, right?
essential worker, so.
Yeah, dude. I am an essential worker. Are you?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, it sucks. I hope eventually we get extra pay. I hope every essential worker out there is doing well. I hope no one catches it. I hope everyone's having a great quarantine. I hope everyone's doing productive things. And if not, I hope everyone's having a really great time. Anyways, back to the talk. I love playing fighting games with people in person. It's just so fun. But with this girl, the girl I had a crush on, her and I would always play Street Fighter. And she was so good. I kind of trained her. Because at first, she said she wasn't that good, but I played with her and she was good. She's a good Chun-Li. Like an amazing Chun-Li. We would play Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the Switch. Every time in college, mid-class, like not mid-class, that'd be horrible. I'm saying like, mid-periods, after classes, before class. Homegirl was amazing. She's literally better than me in fighting games. I like, cannot match her skill. But it's so fun to see their reactions when they lose, to see their reactions when they win, to see how their body language is when they're playing. With me, I'm laid back when I play, but when I'm getting serious, the whole spiel where you lean forward when you know shit's getting real.
Oh, yeah, the lean forward.
The lean forward, shit's about to go down when that happens. And her and I would do it
I've
at the
lost
same time.
stock. Lean forward.
Her and I would always do it. And I know sometimes we would like kind of butt heads when we do it on purpose, because that was our thing. Or after match, we would trash talk to each other, and we would literally be in each other's faces, just like yelling at each other, and everyone in the whole room would be just like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" Because it was like a type of otaku club slash anime club, and we'd go there to just play games, and we would always yell at each other's faces. She'd flip me off, and I'm like, "Don't make me bite that shit. I will bite it." She's like, "Sit on it, then." I'm like, "It's so funny. She's such a funny girl." I hope she's doing well. And if you're listening, if not, well then you know, you're not listening then. But good at fighting games. I love fighting games. I love how our conversation went from knowing each other for 7 years to fighting games. See, this is what this podcast is about. It's for everyone, honestly. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a podcast where I'm going to be talking about cars, possibly, with another friend of mine I've known for a really long time. But back to the podcast. Fighting games. Amazing. What's your favorite fighting game?
Oh man,
Toughie, huh?
out of all the ones I've played, the one I'll probably always like probably be Fighters, honestly.
Dragon Ball Fighters. It's a really good choice. The art
I
style
like
is just good.
I like Street Fighter.
Street Fighter is really good too. It's the cornerstone of
I stick by
fighting
it
games.
though.
Really?
Oh yeah. Nah, I'm not gonna.
Fighters, dude. Fighter is so good. I remember I pre-ordered it, the collector's edition, because it came with a statue, and I'm like, oh my god, awesome. And then I accidentally bought
sadly,
it.
I don't got PS. I approved it to Steam.
Ah, dude, that sucks. But the statue's really cheap right now. It's literally like $60. It's not too expensive. I myself am a figure collector, so I was like, I'm gonna start figure collecting because I always saw my cousin collect figures, not particularly Dragon Ball.
On me.
I mean, he wouldn't collect particularly Dragon Ball, but he'd have like figures from Spider-Man 1. He'd have figures from Toy Soldiers. He even has a limited edition, not limited edition, but a rare printed Toy Soldiers from like Germany or Brazil, and I'm like, that is worth a lot. And he has like Marvel Legends, some Dragon Ball figures, but I'm like, I want to be like this dude when I grow up. So right now I have a collection going of figures of pop culture and all that, even Funko Pops. I don't, not gonna lie, I got Marvel Legends too. I got wrestling figures, you know, kind of the inner, kind of patting the shoulder of my inner kid. Like, if you couldn't do that back then, I'll do it for now. I'll do it right now for you, buddy. So I kind of spent a lot of money. Let's just say I spent at least like maybe 10 grand on everything I have now.
I've bought a few figures.
Oh yeah.
I have Super Saiyan God Goku, Super Saiyan Vegeta, the one where he's kicking in Perfect Cell.
Dude, I love that one. I love that one.
I have a Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I have a Bardock.
If you ever sell those, you know who to hit up. I will literally pay you. I will pay for the shipping. I will literally go to your house and see you while you're sleeping and wait till you wake up so I could ask you, can I buy your figures off of you? I don't know where you live. I can't remember, but I'll go there.
I have a few Funko Pops.
Funko Pops are cool. I kind of have
I'm
a
fine
little,
with them.
yeah, they're cool, but I kind of have a little, like, it kind of irks me with the people that collect them like crazy. I'm like, you guys are so obsessed. But it's like,
there's so many of them.
There's so many of them. I legit went to GameStop the other day. I visited my friend at work. This was before the whole quarantine, and there was like a gelatinous cube. I'm like, a block of gel? That's a Funko Pop? And so many, I'm like, no one's gonna come for that. I was so wrong. A bunch of people came for it. It's sold out. I'm like, oh my god.
Was it Rick and Morty one?
No, dude. It was, was it Rick and Morty? No, it was like National Geographic. I forgot what it was. I can't remember, bro. It was just so weird. I'd understand if it was Rick and Morty.
I would be more into them if they didn't do the one thing that I kind of despise.
Reskins? Recolors?
No.
Editions?
You can get this one only at here.
Oh, exclusives. Exclusivity. I hate exclusivity, bro. I know.
I remember I was looking at them because I only got the Dragon Ball Z ones. So this was back before they actually had more of them. And it was like, you can only get this Vegeta at San Diego Comic-Con.
Bruh.
Like, I'm not doing that.
I am not doing that. Me, dude, I remember I kind of was into Funko Pops. I had an application where I would scan every Funko Pop I own and it'd show me how much they're worth. The most expensive Funko I have right now is $100 on its own. And it's exclusive to the wrestling game, WWE 2K15 Collector's Edition. It's a Hulk Hogan NWO Funko Pop, and it's worth $100. And the bundle itself with the Collector's Edition goes for around $200 right now because it has a signature of Hulk Hogan. And this was during the time where Hulk Hogan had his scandal where he said racist remarks.
Oh.
I'd rather not say what he said because this is like my first podcast and I do not want to fuck it up. But he said some things, during a sex tape, mind you. So it looks horrible. WWE is all like, yeah, fuck that dude. We're erasing him. So you erase him. And the Funko Pop is
Who's
still
that
out
again?
there.
Just, dude, he's like, who's that?
Who's that? Hogan who? Nah, never heard of him. Never heard of that guy. But wasn't he like famous in WWE? No, never heard of him. Never heard of the guy. It was sad
Chris
because
Benoit, we don't know who that is either.
Chris Benoit, dude, that is a whole nother podcast. Like, legit, I want to bring you on again, and we'll talk about the Chris Benoit story there. Because I have so many theories, dude. I legit read so many books on that. It's so amazing. I mean, it's horrible. The story is horrible, but, like,
Oh, yeah.
the inputs people give is so amazing. Like, so many points of view and perspectives. It's like, wow.
I grew up around that era, like, right after the Attitude Era.
Ruthless aggression. I love it.
Oh, yeah, I grew right about that, because I remember John Cena coming in. I remember all that.
Mm-hmm. I was born right when the Attitude Era was ending, I think. No, starting. 98. I was born 98. And I did not get into wrestling until like 2004 or 5.
About 2002. I remember I used to watch it every Thursday night.
Friday Night SmackDown.
So we
Thursday
didn't have
Night
cable
SmackDown.
time, so we had to watch SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I would always, even though I was outside playing, I would know when it was coming. I'll know when it was coming on. I'll run home and watch it.
Dude, that sounds amazing. That brings me back. That gives me so much nostalgia, dude. Legit. I'd come home from school. Then I would go to the park to play with my friends. I'd play basketball or soccer. And I would try running home as fast as I can to make it for 7 o'clock just so I could watch Friday Night SmackDown. It was so... I missed those times, bro. Back when they were simpler. It's so amazing.
I remember watching Eddie Guerrero. I remember watching all that.
Dude, Eddie Guerrero was amazing.
I remember back when the first Tough Enough happened, when you saw The Miz, all the other people that are still somewhat in there.
Mike Mizanin, dude, what a legend. He started out...
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's a humble guy. He's a really humble guy. He started out crazy, dude. Like, not crazy, but like, the Mike Mizanin of back then compared to the Mike Mizanin of right now, The Miz, it's so amazing. Like, homeboy is really dedicated. I envy the guy when it comes to dedication. Because I myself... right now, I'm in the process of getting into shape, and I don't know whether I want to join the military or I want to move into a wrestling college. Because I'm kind of on the fence of that. I really want to become a wrestler, but I really want to join the military too. So I don't know which one to do. I think I might do the latter. But wrestling is really a passion of mine. I love wrestling. I've memorized the moves. I've memorized the body parts and how to land perfectly. It's just...
I've been watching, for the longest time now. I've been going to the WWE YouTube channel, watching all their full matches stuff.
Dude,
and
WWE is just...
watching some of the best Stone Cold stuff, because goddamn, he's good on the mic.
Dude, Stone Cold is amazing. He's such a character. Like, I think he literally portrays who he actually is on the mic, and that's why he's so good, and that's why stuff comes naturally. Because if I remember correctly...
Definitely.
Because if I remember correctly, he has scripts, but homeboy never goes with it. Nomás dice lo que quiere decir. He always says what he wants to say. And people love that about him. That's why he got so over. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Even people that aren't into wrestling know who the hell he is. Austin 316, who does not know who that is? He has it going. And he's one of the reasons why I'm starting a podcast, him and Jericho. The Stone Cold podcast. The Talk is Jericho. Jericho's another legend. He's amazing too.
Yeah, it's a shame that WWE just is the way it is sometimes, and they let go of great talent.
They do. Recently, the whole spring cleaning. You heard about that, right? Where they let go
Yeah, I've been seeing a bunch of stuff about that.
Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Heath Slater, a bunch of people gone because of the corona and because of spring cleaning. So they let go of a bunch of people, even backstage personnel and everything. I'm like, it's so heartbreaking, but business has to move on. Businesses have to do what businesses have to do in order to succeed. As heartbreaking
Another
as it
big part of
is.
that too, yeah, is because of the coronavirus,
Mm-hmm. They want to save
and
money.
because they can't, as JR once said, put an ass every 18 inches.
Right. I have no idea what that means, but I'm gonna agree with you. JR's funny though.
Oh,
I mean,
it
did
was
you?
really,
Hmm.
I think it was the Beyond the Mat or behind. It was something like that about Mick Foley or some of the other
Behind the
wrestlers.
ropes or something like that?
It was something like that because I've been watching a bunch of WWE behind the scenes stuff, and like you say like what the Miz has done. Undertaker got Mick Foley, especially Mick Foley, man. He took 11 chair shots to the head with his handcuffs behind his back. And they don't do chair shots to the head no more. It's all to the back. You have Tanker, who's, I think he's about 50 or 60 at this point.
Taker?
Yeah.
Mark Calloway, right? I don't
Yeah, Mark
remember.
Holloway.
He's like, I kind of want to look it up, but I know for a fact because my internet is so horrible right now. But maybe you could look it up. But I know he's like 57.
55.
Oh, okay, there we go. That's what it is.
And the thing about it, though, like, it's really like, gets your heart going because he literally, he puts all his trust into Vince, and Vince puts all his trust into him. I think one of the biggest things that they messed up with ending the streak.
The whole Lesnar thing, that was crazy. Like,
Well,
it was a really good build up though, cause I forgot what UFC it was. UFC 200. I forgot where Brock Lesnar lost to Cain Velasquez, and Undertaker was ordered by Vince McMahon to be there, or whoever ordered him,
yeah.
and Undertaker thought Lesnar knew about it. He was all like, okay, make a scene, call out Lesnar. You ready to do this? And Lesnar was like, who the fuck do you think you are showing up to my world? He was pissed off. Undertaker thought, he was playing a character, but later on that he finds out, like, how could you fucking do this to me? Like, why would you do that to get clout? And Undertaker's like, oh, I'm sorry, I had no idea. Like I had no idea this was, like, on the spot. I thought you knew about this. And they kind of used that as build up to WrestleMania 30, where Undertaker would face Brock Lesnar. And I don't know if it was scripted or if it was part of the story where Undertaker loses, because it just seems premature for him to lose there.
Okay. So this is the way it happened. Brock has a mass amount of respect for Undertaker,
Mm-hmm.
like everyone does. He didn't want to win, but Vince was like, "No, we need to build you up more. You are a beast.
You're
You broke the
unstoppable.
streak."
You're unstoppable. We want to build you up.
So he broke the streak. Yes,
They
that
kind
was good to
of
do that. He was gonna win.
wanted him to be like the Kuji. I forgot what's his name. Kujiki. I don't know how to pronounce Japanese name, but I know his last name is Okada from New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is like this undefeated dude at the time. And he's like a monster. He's a beast. Like no one could beat him for the belt. And I think WWE was trying to build Brock Lesnar as the type of dude to be like that. And they did that. People hated it.
Yeah, but like the other sad thing about that is Mark Holloway Undertaker. He doesn't remember the streak ending.
He had a concussion when he
Oh
landed,
yeah,
right?
he's very concussed.
He got concussed like
Yes,
crazy. He was literally out
and
of
like
it.
he he literally like watched the match back and doesn't remember what happened.
And he normally doesn't watch matches back, from what I remember. He's like one of those wrestlers that doesn't like watching his matches. The only matches he's ever
There
watched are the ones with The Rock, with Roman Reigns, and with Brock Lesnar. And those are the only three
and AJ
matches.
Styles too.
Oh, he loves the one with AJ.
Because there's a thing that came that's on WWE Network, not sponsored by the way.
Not yet, at least.
But like there's a behind the scenes thing. Just it's called The Undertaker Last Ride.
There we go.
It's like
I haven't been catching up with that, but it looks amazing.
I watched chapter 2, but basically, spoilers by the way, I guess. Whenever he goes over and says he got concussed, it was a known fact that Michelle McCool, his wife, said that Vince was with him. So was Brock.
Cause they're Brock and Undertaker. I know they go way back. They're like buddies. But him and Vince, Undertaker and Vince, untouchable. They're like if they were like, what I'm trying to say is they're like family. They consider each other family.
Well, okay. Oh yeah, especially Undertaker. I don't know if it's a story or not, but I forgot where Tinker tried to start at. I think it was WCW or something else.
Yeah, WCW. He
And they
was
told him that you had no talent, you will never be anything.
right.
So Tinker goes to WWE, Vince gives him the job, and look where we are.
Right. 30 years later.
And Tinker is so grateful to Vince is that he literally does anything he can to put on the show.
Right, homeboy does so much medication, so many treatments, so many like so much therapy just so he could be in shape for the time where he needs him. He
He
does.
even said like in the thing, he was like, I work once a year.
I'll do whatever I can to
I,
be ready for it.
Oh yeah, he starts training super early.
Yeah, and he's like you said, 55. A man that
Yeah.
age shouldn't be wrestling, especially at the
Well,
caliber
Ric
of.
Flair's, I mean,
Oh, Ric Flair was crazy. TNA 2011. His matches were so bloody. I'm like, how are you? Like, how are you even doing that? It's so crazy.
yeah, I remember watching. I used to watch TNA. I'm just like, what's happening?
Oh, I
Is he
love
really like
TNA.
70 or 80 years old?
He's actually 60 something, I think.
Wow.
Or
He does not
70?
look like it.
Or 70? I don't remember
It's all the
correctly.
drugs, man.
Yeah. Woo! Anyway, I was surprised myself because I'm like, it's something. I don't know. Because I remember looking up his age and I was so taken back by it. I was so surprised. I'm like, wow, really? That's crazy. And then I looked up John Cena's age and I'm like, wow, my childhood is just, wow, that was a long ass time ago. Oh,
How old
man.
is John Cena? Like 30?
Isn't he 40 something? He's 40
God, he
something.
is. Wow.
How old is he? 40?
43.
That is so crazy, dude. Oh my god. Wow. I know AJ's 40 something too. But since he's like barely in the WWE scene, barely what, 3 years I think in the business. Even though he's been wrestling for 15 years at that time, he barely started out in WWE. I mean, he did start in 2002, but he didn't really make it because he wasn't as popular then, so he kind of made it in the TNA scene and eventually migrated over to WWE. And he's a success. He's my favorite wrestler. He's like the best one. Undertaker says him and Shawn, best wrestlers in the whole business. Undertaker really loves AJ Styles. And that says a lot about AJ. I myself
Oh,
am
yeah.
a
Such a taker.
taker, dude. I love wrestling so much, dude. I remember I would be made fun of in school for liking wrestling. Because I was made fun of for liking Sonic the Hedgehog. And because I've been bullied my whole life in school, man. So I would kind of express myself for liking the Sonic fan base and all that. Not the fan base, but you know, I was part of it. I loved Sonic the Hedgehog. I'd be cringy. I still am. But I'd been made fun of it. So I'm like, oh, what else do I like? Wrestling. So I'd express myself when it comes to wrestling. People still made fun of me. And I'm like, that is so crazy. People really, like, people are something else. Point is, though, I love wrestling. I've always have. I'd legit, my family would not let me watch wrestling because we're Christian and we're kind of against violence. So they'd be like, "What are you watching? Oh my God, that's a sin. You can't watch that. That's disgusting." And then later on, I'd kind of get the courage to start watching it again, and I even got my dad into it. His favorite wrestler is the Big Show, cause my dad's bald. For reasons, homeboy has had 20 brain surgeries. I was young. I was in kindergarten. One day we were all eating dinner, but we bought ham at this one store. And my dad, his instincts kicked in. He's like, "Let me try that ham before we serve it." He's like, "Yeah, it's spoiled. Let's not eat it." So we threw it out. And he starts getting sick, starts passing out, being groggy and all that. And he's just like losing it. And I'm just like, is this like food poisoning or what is this? Homeboy has a stroke. We take him to the hospital. He has two more strokes. Doctors check his brain because that's where the strokes like mainly came from. And turns out that the ham he ate had a tapeworm, and the tapeworm was slowly eating his brain. And
Oh,
yeah, I didn't know the extremity of the situation, but I was kind of damaged by it because I didn't have my father throughout kindergarten. I'd have field trips and he wouldn't be there, and I was like so depressed at the time. I'd legit would be in kindergarten, not even learning anything. I'd be drawing in my notebook. I'd be drawing Sonic and Mario, and then I was kind of like, oh my God, what if Mario crossed over with Sonic? And then years later, that would come true with Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games. So I'm like, oh my God, I did it first. Anyway, I'd mostly be alone, crying most of the time, drawing and everything. Then my uncle dies, and it was like, not saying my favorite uncle, but it was an uncle I really wanted to meet because I have not met him till like the last time I saw him was when I was a baby. He held me, and we took a picture, thankfully. But he dies, and I'm like, wow, kindergartner. I was 6 years old. I had to adapt fast. I had to grow up so fast. I had to get my feelings in check. I had to be strong. I legit had to like help my mom because she was losing it. Her husband was in the hospital. So I had to be the strong one. I had to be the man of the house at the age of 6. I would go to Chicago to do paperwork, help my mom out. I'd be by her side 24/7. And it kind of affects me now because now that I'm old, I want to be a child. And I can't anymore because I'm 21. I'm expected to be this adult, you know? Many people want me to be a certain way. Like, you have to grow up, you have to be an adult, you have to act like an adult. But what they don't get is, I've always been an adult. I've never gotten to be a child. I had to adapt fast, you know? And so my dad had 3 strokes, and he was in a coma for 6 months. And in a total, he had 20 brain surgeries. So I'm like, that's crazy. 20 brain surgeries? 3 strokes? 6 months in a coma. And he, the doctors were like, done. They were like, wow, that's a really, oof. What is that? That's probably my laptop. Anyway, so the doctors were kind of done. They're all like, there's no hope. There's nothing we could do here. We're literally just taking care of a dead body. Sure, he's alive, but mentally, he'll never be the same. You'll just have a vegetable. You just have a vegetable. And the doctor, I
that's what
remember,
it said.
it was horrible. I remember I was in the living room playing Mario 64, and we got a phone call, and my mom started tearing up, and she didn't want to tell me what it was, but back then I had really good ears, and I heard what the doctor was saying from the phone, and I kept it to myself, but he told us that, well, he told her that, you should gather the family up, you should go say your goodbyes, because he has only 2 weeks to live. At least in 2 weeks, we're just going to unplug him. There's no hope. And we were devastated, like, my dad, he's young. I'm his first child, 6 years old. He had a second child, 5, and a daughter, 4. He can't die. He barely became a father 6 years ago. It's too soon. I can't lose my dad at the age of 6. I was heartbroken. Obviously, a lot of my depression comes from there. Um, wow, this podcast got really personal. But at least to the viewers, I'm opening up, and they'll be more comfortable around me and listening to me. Not all podcasts are going to be like this, but just this one. At least there's a good ending. You know,
Yeah.
we got into prayer. He turned out all right. The doctor's tuition was kind of wrong there, but the doctors did really help a lot. Like, thank God for the doctors. But my dad, it's been like about 20, not 20 years. What the hell? I suck at math so much. It's been a really long time. It's been more than 10 years, and he's a lot better. Where was I going with this? I have no idea. What was I talking about? I completely
We were talking
forgot.
about wrestling.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Like, legit, we go from one topic to another. It's so crazy. But oh, it's because I'd say that I'd be picked on in school because of wrestling. How did that get from that to this? I swear. Back to wrestling. I swear, man, I'm crazy, dude. I could just imagine the face you're doing right now. You're all like, this dude. What is up with this dude?
Smiling.
Anyway, wrestling is amazing. It's part of my childhood. See, that's where it came from. I grew up with wrestling a lot, even though it's because I was telling you that my dad's into wrestling and he's bald.
Yes.
And he's bald because of the 20 brain surgeries. So his favorite wrestler is the Big Show. He's like, wow, he looks exactly like me. And that's where him and I kind of bonded a bit with wrestling. I would always get him Big Show figures, or like I remember I got him a Slurpee cup with the Big Show on it. Homeboy was happy as hell. I love the Big Show too. He's funny. He's got a show on Netflix. I forgot what it's called, but it's a good show.
The Big Show show.
The Big Show show. That is so funny. That's a really good show though. I love it. A lot of references there in WWE. My favorite wrestler though right now is AJ Styles. Like, without a doubt, AJ Styles. Best grappler, best all around wrestler right now, in my opinion at least. What about you?
Ooh, it's another hard one.
It doesn't have to strictly be WWE. You could go AEW, TNA, New Japan, CZW.
I haven't watched anything about AEW. I have no idea about New Japan. Like, all I know is, like, WWE. I know a little bit of TNA because my dad used to watch TNA.
TNA is so good, dude.
Oh, man. It would have to be Tanker.
Undertaker, good choice. A lot of credibility behind that wrestler, dude. He's the best. He's literally.
I just remember growing up and just always happy seeing Undertaker.
Dude, it was always a treat. Just I wish.
I remember his badass persona.
Oh, American Badass, Big Bad Evil.
Yeah, and then going back to Dead Man, it's just. I remember when I first heard about the streak breaking, I was so angry.
I was heartbroken, dude. I watched it live from a Twitch.
I did not watch it live. I heard it happen though.
Ooh, I watched it via stream, dude, with my friend, and it was heartbreaking, bro. And it's funny because I had not watched wrestling that whole year. I was on a hiatus because I couldn't watch Raw. I couldn't watch SmackDown. So I was all like, I'll watch WrestleMania at least. Let's see how it is. And, you know, there's new faces. I had no idea who Roman Reigns, Rollins, or Ambrose was. New Age Outlaws came back, and I'm like, what? That's so crazy. Why is Kane wearing formal pants? And then Undertaker is bald, and I'm like, what? And the streak breaks. And I'm like, what just happened? That did not just happen. I was yelling at the TV. I was like, no.
I would have too. I watched it. Yeah, I would just. One of my other favorite, because I've been watching a lot of the WWE YouTube channel.
Right.
They uploaded the promo of John Cena tearing into Roman Reigns.
Dude, I love that. It's called the promo
I'm just
kid. You
like,
better.
damn.
Damn, dude, I love that one, bro. But where did we leave off? I completely forgot. Your favorite wrestler is Undertaker. You love the American
Yes.
Badass persona. It was really good. The streak
I
breaking was
love-
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It was horrible, dude. I am with you on that because I watched it and I was like, "What the hell just happened? What just happened? That did not just happen." And he would continue to wrestle at WrestleMania, but it just didn't feel the same. Like, where's the magic? Where's the pizzazz? Like, okay, you're facing Undertaker for what? Why do you have to face
Yeah,
Undertaker?
I don't know why they kept doing that.
Like, dude, if you were
But
gonna
then,
do that, don't break the streak in the first place, you know?
one thing about that, though, is that you had him go against Roman Reigns.
I love that
And
match. I'm gonna be biased. I love that match. Sure, it was sloppy. Sure, Undertaker hated the match, but I love that match. That match was good. I'm a Roman Reigns fan. I'm not behind him that up to the point where I'm like I don't understand the hatred towards him, because I'll admit too he was shoved in our throats, you know, shoved down our throats. But I just love.
I don't want to get the hatred either.
Oh,
But
I get the
I think
hatred.
about that, too, is that, well, yeah, he was kind of shoved a lot.
Yeah, he was, but
The
it's
funny thing about
because.
that, though,
Yes.
you did you did hear about Vince saying they loved him, right?
They loved him. Undertaker and Vince said that, or
Oh,
who?
no. Okay, so, you know, literally boo him.
Yeah, they boo him. Yeah,
Vince was like, you hear that?
they
They
love
love
him.
him.
They love him. They love Vince McMahon. He's talking to himself.
And it's just like,
They love Roman Reigns. You hear them, boots? They love him. They're digging him.
yeah, it's just like, they had to change audio for some of the, like, shows.
They had I forgot what the thing was called, but they legit would either lower the volume or they would put in cheers. I was like, that is so bogus.
And it's, like, real sad, 'cause, like, I don't know, it's just, it's really funny to think about, because, like, I remember, I've been watching a lot of, like, Stone Cold stuff recently.
Mm-hmm.
Every time the glass breaks, fucking the audience are just up and at
They
him.
erupt, dude. They erupt. Homeboy knows how
And
to handle an audience. The whole what?
and
What?
I think a part about that, the reason why it isn't as big as it used to be,
Mm-hmm.
because WWE is targeting children.
Children, PG era, as they would say.
No swearing, no blood.
Mm-mm. I mean, lately they've been kind of putting in a lot of stuff from, Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression. Rey Mysterio recently had a promo with Seth Rollins, and he's like, "Congratulations on your new kid," and Rollins legit just like was frozen, ignored his ass, and they zoom in on Rey Mysterio, and they put a mic in his mouth, and they're like, "What a dick," and I'm like, that is so funny. And they say shit now because Drew McIntyre had a promo with Rollins too. Why is it always with Rollins? And he's all like, "Rollins, cut your shit." And I'm just like, what are they doing? Are they coming back to this era? I'm like, it's crazy. And now they're edgy. They're talking about death. I'm gonna kill you. They're doing blood. Rollins legit obliterated Rey Mysterio's
Yeah,
eye last Monday. Not last Monday, but 2 weeks ago. His eye was bleeding profusely. And I'm like, what are they doing? Are they coming back? It's so crazy. They're, I guess they're trying to target older audiences now. At least, broaden their audiences and everything. Because I think with the quarantine, WWE is kind of losing its touch, so they're kind of making things edgy in order to stay with the times and to keep their, audiences entertained. So they're throwing swear words here and there and blood sometimes, from time to time. And I'm like, I like what they're doing. It's really good. The shows may seem kind of dull without any audiences, but I still dig them. They're still pretty good. It it really makes them
I
step up their
think
game. What's up?
they might try to do, they might try to get the Attitude Era back, but it'll never hit its peak like it did before.
Oh no, back then.
You don't have you don't have Stone Cold, you don't have Mick Foley, you don't have the Hardy Boys, you don't have Edge, Christian, you don't have any of the big players.
Right, right.
The roster's okay.
I feel it's kind of dull now. It's like literally like same 5 people every week, and it's just like getting dull. But it makes sense. I mean,
Well, yeah.
but the Attitude Era was so big at its time. It's because Attitude Era came at a time where wrestling was mostly just wrestling and like, like, I'm gonna get you, whippersnapper. Oh, what incarnation is this? And then it went to like, what the fuck? Or like, holy shit. Or like, damn. And like, they started throwing in bad words. They started throwing in blood, edginess. And people were all like, this is different. Isn't it supposed to be sports entertainment? Like, isn't it supposed to be wrestling? Then here you are watching a soap opera about a wrestler swearing at his boss. It's so new. It's different. It raised the bar because before that, you just had wrestling. You just had characters wrestling for a belt. But now it's like, oh, I'm going to defy the system. I'm going to
Before
be
the Attitude Era, you had
attitude.
like the superhero era. You had the Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Macho
Right.
Man.
The golden era, as they call it, right? I think.
Yeah, and 'cause, like you have like
Your
Hulk
goody
Hogan
two
is just
shoes.
like
Your goody
literally the
two
face of
shoes.
the company at the time. And then like you had the small era of like weird gimmicks.
Definitely, bro. Definitely.
Vampire, the Shockmaster.
Wasn't there a milkman? I don't
I think
remember.
so, yeah, at one point.
Um, WCW had a bootleg Sub Zero from what I remember, and then they had the Abominable Snowman
That's right.
or a mummy. I forgot it was. RoboCop was in
Yeah.
WCW. RoboCop.
Yeah, he was.
And back to the Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary. Dennis Rodman was also in the WCW at the time. NWO. He appeared with Hulk Hogan during the finals, mind you. He got fined 50K. 50K for not missing the
Oh, you gotta
finals.
imagine. You gotta remember, like kayfabe was really big back then.
But it was basketball, bro. Basketball. He was supposed to be with the Chicago Bulls. Then they see him on TV with Hulk Hogan and NWO on WCW. He got fined 50,000 for missing
Oh,
the finals, and he ended up making 250,000. So he got fined 50K, but he made 250K. So we made 200K out of that. I'm like, Dennis Rodman's a legend, dude. Dennis Rodman is a legend. I love Dennis Rodman. I remember I had a jersey of him. He was my first jersey when it came to the Chicago Bulls. And my cousin, not so long ago, he went to a bar, and guess who was there? Dennis Rodman. He got a picture with him. He got an autograph. My cousin is the biggest Bulls fan out there. I swear. I'm so envious of him. But wrestling was so colorful back then. Like, you had your characters, dude. Legit storybook
oh yeah, like
characters.
it was all gimmicks.
Gimmicky as hell. Right now, it's just wrestlers. You have wrestlers. The only one that stays is Undertaker. He's the only gimmick, honestly, if you think about it. I mean, Rollins.
Yeah, I can't really.
I
He's
guess Rollins.
house gimmick, really.
Rollins
Oh, you have
maybe
Randy Orton.
the Viper, but he's more or less still a wrestler. He's just like the natural talented wrestler, where his dad was also a wrestler, a
I do
cowboy.
like Randy Orton too. He's pretty good.
But Rollins, I think, is the only character with an actual gimmick right now because he considers himself the Messiah. Controversial, but I love it. He is so good at it. I love Seth Rollins. I love Seth Rollins, dude. He's such a good wrestler. He got me into CrossFit. I love CrossFit. But yeah, wrestling right now is just wrestling. There's no gimmicks really. It's just either you're new watching the program and you're seeing this for the first time, or you've been watching the program for a while and you know these wrestlers from the independent circuit. Tyler Black, Seth Rollins, John Moxley, Dean Ambrose. You know, you've known these people for a long time, and and you're seeing them in WWE. You're like, wow, they finally made it to the big leagues. And that's what's so cool about wrestling, dude. Like, it brings people together one way or another. I think they even made a commercial about
Another
that.
really sad thing, though,
What is it?
is that, like, I've been watching a lot of the full matches, or a lot of old stuff. Whenever somebody came out like Attitude Era, big applause, fucking great. Now you just kind of hear somebody comes out. Kind of sad.
Right. It's sad, dude. Wrestling has touched so many people, dude. Like, it's hip hop culture. Rappers talk about it, references in movies, references in shows. I mean, John Cena, out of all people, he's the biggest meme out there. He acknowledges it too, but John Cena is a meme.
Well, the great thing about John Cena
The part timer?
is that, oh yeah, no, like,
I could do this better part time than you could do it full time. That's what you were saying. I remember now.
yeah,
His insult to Roman
he
Reigns. Anyways, go on. I'm sorry.
fucking amazing insult.
Amazing, dude. Kurt Angle's just laughing.
Like, I love Kurt Angle too.
I love him.
I
But yeah.
remember, real quick before I say all this, I remember watching him. I remember his feud with Chris Benoit.
Kurt Angle's or Cena's?
Yeah, Kurt Angle's.
Dude, Kurt Angle and Benoit was like a staple.
So I remember one of the insults both of them used. Chris Benoit said, "At least I have hair,
Bruh.
so at least I got teeth."
Damn. Yeah, because Chris Benoit had to get surgery for his teeth. If I remember correctly. Dude, they're so funny. Any feud with Kurt Angle is good, dude. Any feud with Benoit was good.
Kurt Angle was another great one that bust his ass for WWE and has.
Yeah.
So I remember back when I first started watching WWE, you know, the "You suck" chants.
Oh, you suck.
Remember, he used to ignore them.
But now he like endorses them.
Then he came back. Oh, I remember. I think the first match he came back and he was like dressing like all gold, I think.
Oh, the Conquistador one?
And he tossed him out of the ring. Yeah.
Because he was like trying to trick Baron Corbin.
Clip cut off. He took off the mask. Yeah, he took the mask, and you could just see in his eyes he fucking missed the "You suck" chants.
Oh,
he missed it. He's missed WWE. You can tell.
Dude, that was amazing. Because he came back for the Hall of Fame speech, and he was tearing up after he heard.
Oh yeah.
And then WWE brings him back because they medically cleared him to wrestle, and then they bring him back into this story where he's a general manager. But then they bring him in for that match, and he was just like, you could see the emotion in his eyes that he missed doing this. But sadly, WWE didn't.
I know he was in TNA and stuff, but I mean,
he missed the atmosphere of the WWE because it was different than what TNA was. TNA was really good though. Kurt Angle, hate me or not, I might get shit for this, but Kurt Angle's a TNA guy. I'll admit that. He's been in TNA longer than he was in WWE. Sure, he started out in WWE, but in TNA, he raised the bar so much. He became a TNA guy, dude. You missed out so much. Sting versus Kurt Angle versus Jeff Hardy, Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle versus Jeff Jarrett. He had so many good matches. Kurt Angle versus Kevin Nash. He had so many good matches. People, like, legends would always go to TNA, and they'd make a really good name for themselves there. Nash, Booker T, Orlando Jordan, MVP, Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy literally reinvented himself in TNA with the broken gimmick. Look at him now.
Yeah, I don't know that yet.
Look at him now, dude.
Yeah, isn't he in A&W now?
He's in A&W right now. He's part of the Elite with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. He's with the Elite right now. I swear, that dude is so rich. He's such a genius. I love Matt Hardy. He's always been my favorite brother of the Hardys. I love Jeff. Like, trust me, I love Jeff Hardy. But Matt Hardy, I always like connected with him. The brother that got outshadowed by his other brother, his younger brother. Because I myself have a younger brother. And my younger brother was always the favorite. And, well, with reason. He's younger, you know? And I'd always be overshadowed, which I didn't mind because I love my brother to death. I'd do anything for my brother, so I completely understood it. And that was kind of what I saw in Matt Hardy. Always looking out for his younger brother, but kind of overshadowed too. So I connected with Matt, and I'm like, I love Matt Hardy. He's such a good wrestler. And Homeboy reinvents himself, and I'm just like, can he get any better? And he's so rich. And I remember one time I was watching his YouTube channel, and he's all like, you guys could keep making fun of me for being fat, but at least I'm richer than you guys. And then he pulls out like $100 bills, and I'm like, you are so
That's
good,
great.
dude. You are so good. And look at him now. He's married, has kids, has a mansion. He, such a good wrestler, dude. Such a good wrestler. Really good legend, man. Such a technician. He really good at reinventing. Him and Bray Wyatt were such a good rivalry. Like, it was so good. The Fiend, talking about another genius, The Fiend, that he's such...
Yeah, I saw a little bit about that too.
What you got to say about that?
But I've seen it all.
You've seen it all?
One thing, I know I've seen it all. However, the one quick thing, if you're ever bored, look up a series called Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Trad the Ring?
Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh, dude, what was it? WrestleMania?
I think so.
WrestleMania. I remember watching the plane ride to hell. That was my favorite story. The plane ride to hell. And then the story with...
Oh,
I forgot what story it
Dark Side
was.
of the Ring is actually produced by Vice.
Oh, there we go, Vice.
Like,
Dude,
it's for TV, but like
didn't they just
there's
get done with the
such good
Owen Hart
things.
one? Didn't they just get done with the Owen
Yes,
Hart
I
one?
watched it. Yes.
Dude, was it good? I've been meaning to watch it.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh yeah. I've been watching a lot of.
Dude, Vice is so good with those, man. I remember they did the Chris Benoit one. I watched that
They
one.
did.
I was amazed at what they had to say. But then the Owen Hart one happened, and I never got to watch it. And I'm kind of scared to watch it because I get really emotional with the Owen Hart story. Because he was one of my favorite wrestlers back when I was a kid. I'd play WWF Attitude for the Nintendo 64. I'd always pick Bret Hart, but then in the beginning of the game, they would show a tribute screen that he died, and I'm like, he's dead? I don't get it. Then I would always watch documentaries on what happened, and they even have footage of when he did the fall and killed himself. Not to kill himself, but he died. I was so heartbroken. I was like, what?
You should definitely watch it. It's very good.
I need to watch it, man. WWE's messed up for that, though. They knew The Wire was messed up, and they still told him to go. For those watching or listening, I mean, Owen Hart was a wrestler. Brother of the Bret Hart. Was he the brother of Bret Hart? Yeah, right? I forget.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was the youngest, I think.
And I know most of y'all know who Bret Hart is. So Owen Hart was his brother. And he was going to wrestle Godfather, I think, for the Intercontinental title. And
Yes.
he had this gimmick, the blue blazer. And he was set to win the title. But he was going to do an entrance because it was a big event. And he was set to fly coming from the sky and ascend to the ring. And the producers and Vince McMahon knew that wiring that they were going to put him on was kind of faulty. But they're all like, fuck it. Go. Go anyways. It's fine. You'll be fine. Mid-air, the rope breaks. The wire breaks. He hits his chest on a pole in the ring. Instantly dies. So heartbreaking. It's just devastating. Obviously, WWE got
Oh
fined.
man,
It's devastating, dude. Like, wrestlers dying is horrible. Rest in peace, Owen Hart. Rest in peace, Shad Gaspard. What a hero.
I heard that too. Yeah.
What a hero. Homeboy was in Venice Beach with his son. A riptide came in and took in his son. Shad Gaspar, without a shadow of a doubt, without doubting, without hesitating, ran in and went for the child. The lifeguard was trying to say Shad, save him. Shad said, "Forget about me. Look for my son." They found his son, but they never found Shad. Days later,
No, they found his body.
the body washes up on shore, identified as Shad Gaspard. Rest in peace, man. That guy was a hero. He was an actual hero. Like, yeah, he did his fatherly act. That is amazing. I strive to be that type of father and hero. He was an amazing man. Crime Time. Crime Time was such an amazing team. I always looked forward to watching them. I'm devastated that they never won a title and that they were like this typical racial team. And I'm like, that's like it's a racial gimmick. You know, they were thugs, African American thugs, but they were so good at it. They were so like energetic. They were like they really knew how to make people smile. They were so good. And then once wrestling is over, Shad Gaspard, there was on the news that he stopped the bank robbery. He legit stopped the robbery. He was a hero. TMZ was like interviewing him like crazy. He even got to talk on TMZ. Like Shad Gaspard was a real deal, dude. I mean, look at him. He was bulky. He was like, he had a dream body. I'm jealous of him. I was jealous of him. But anyway, you know, that's so horrible though, you know. He died a
Yeah.
hero. He died a hero. But with wrestling comes deaths. And Owen Hart was like a really devastating one. It shocked the world. Just imagine the people watching live in the arena. How they thought. How they reacted. Maybe they thought it was part of the show, you know? But who knows? I would have been so scared. Like that's horrible. Like imagine being on the air and then that happens. It's how do you even react to that? I definitely need to watch the Vice documentary though. And for those listening, you guys should too. What was it called? Dark Side of the Ring?
Dark Side of the Ring.
By Vice. Vice, you guys do some good shit there. You guys are good. You guys know what you're doing. Rest in peace Owen Hart too though. That guy was an amazing wrestler. He was really good. And he was kind-hearted from what I remember. Such a shame. And synonymously with sad deaths in WWE, who could forget Eddie Guerrero? Eddie Guerrero, man. He was a legend. People really looked up to him. He was one of my favorite wrestlers. Biasly because he was Hispanic. He was Mexican. I'm not Mexican myself. I'm Guatemalan. But he represents, Spanish speakers, and I'm like, wow, if he could do it, then who's to say I can't do it, you know? We got this, and he was so inspirational. Such a good wrestler, like a little, especially since he was like a little guy, buff as hell though, really buff. I'm like, you were buff, with reasons though, which people go into in the documentaries. Has Vice done a documentary on Eddie Guerrero, or like have they not touched that topic?
They 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 kind of told that one with Chris Benoit.
They did, right? They touched on it a little because I remember hearing about that, and how Eddie didn't die in the ring.
Yeah.
He died in Chavo's arms because of a heart attack, because of all the substance abuse and all the steroids he was taking.
Yeah.
He legit fainted and had a heart attack in the ring. It was like there's videos on it. JBL was so professional though, and just finishing him off in that match just so they can get assistance to him. People hated him for that, but when you think about the business and how it is, that was the best thing to do. And the match is there. Make the audience kind of relax and everything's going to be okay. It's just fine. I'm just going to pin him. Which reminds me of a story with Jericho and Neville, where Neville breaks his foot mid-match. Because he was trying to do... Because Jericho launches him into the ropes, I believe, and Neville does this...
Well, one of the rules for wrestling is that, broke his ankle, and Yeah, and like Jericho's trying to get him out, and then the referee doesn't know.
Yeah, because he's trying to beat him, and the referee doesn't want to count to three, and Jericho's all pissed off, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You legit hear the f bomb, and the Charles Robinson, who was the referee, in the match, was like pissed off too, and then he tells them like in the screaming, "Pin him! He broke his fucking ankle!" Like, and then Charles Robinson's like, "Oh shit!" They have no bad blood. I remember this because of the podcast, Talk is Jericho. Really good podcast, guys. It doesn't have to do with, I mean, it has to do with wrestling, but he touches on other topics too. He got me into
Oh yeah,
podcasting.
yeah.
It's a
Well,
really
one
good
of the
podcast.
rules for wrestling is that you enter with the guy. You the guy walking. You exit with the guy walking.
Right.
And Chris Jericho is one of the amazing guy. He does a lot of stuff. He helps a lot of people.
Hell yeah, Jericho is
Like
like the be
there's
all
a
end
video
all.
on YouTube somewhere.
Hmm? No, but Jericho is like, he says it himself. He's the best in the world. He's the GOAT of wrestling. He really is. And like, I grew up watching Jericho a lot, and I would remember he'd have promos in 2008 where he'd be wearing a suit in the ring, and I thought that was so obnoxious. But I'm like, how could you hate him? He is obnoxious, sure. He's snotty, but he has reason. He beat The Rock and Stone Cold in one night. Homeboy is just one of the best out there. And right now he reinvented himself in AEW
It's
and
one.
hmm?
It's 1:30 though, but I need to go to bed.
All right. Well, it's bedtime. And this podcast has been longer than anticipated. We said what, 50 minutes? And it's kind of like 1 hour and 30 minutes now. And this was my first podcast, and
Yeah,
hopefully,
about that.
yeah, this is my first podcast, and hopefully you'll come on some other time. Would you
Oh
like
yeah.
to? Thank you for being with me here, dude. It means a lot. It means a lot to me that you were my first guest on my first time doing a podcast. I hope people really
No
listen to
problem.
this. You've been a really good guest. We did not even talk about the topic we were normally going to talk about, so I'll save that for another time. But it was really nice having you on. I really hope you have an amazing night. I hope you sleep well, and I hope you have a good time at work tomorrow. Is there any plugs you want me to do? You like people could follow you on Instagram or Twitter or something? Nothing? And it's fine if there's nothing, because I mean, not even I have plugs,
No, I'm
honestly.
good.
You're
I think
good?
so.
All right, you guys could follow him whenever he's walking outside. Just make sure he doesn't notice you. Hide behind bushes. Just don't let him notice you, all right? Follow him, stalk him. It's all good. He allows it. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you for being on the show, Phil. It's been a pleasure. You are really really good at talking. Like, I was so nervous starting this, and now talking to you was like cutting a knife, cutting butter with a knife. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great night. This has been the podcast with no name.
Thank you.
That's not the name.
Well, you too, man. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, dude. Anytime. So yeah, that was the podcast for today. And hope you listening enjoyed it. This podcast doesn't normally have a topic, but it could be whatever. It's, whatever comes on. Tomorrow it's mostly going to be about cars, if tomorrow does happen. But we'll see what happens, honestly. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below what you guys want me to talk about or want me to discuss, and maybe some of you can come on the podcast if I know you. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you all have a great night or a good morning, depending on whenever you're listening to this. And stay safe. And take it easy. Enjoy the quarantine.